And here we are at last. All right. Thank y'all for waiting. Welcome one and welcome all to the one and the only Junkshop Library channel, home of so many things and so much chaos, but particularly today of improv Bible study. The atheist Bible study, where we read every last bloody verse of the King James Version of 1611 and rip it a new asshole from a modern humanist atheist perspective. That sounds like something you would enjoy. By all means, stick around, hit that thumbs up, consider subscribing. We're on a drive right now to get to 250 subscribers by the fourth Sunday of Advent. If that doesn't sound like something you would enjoy, then off you pop. One brief word of warning before we launch into things. As always, much like the source material, this Bible study is not safe for work, not for families, and definitely not for children. All right, ass is covered. Chair needs adjusting. Gonna have to replace this fucking chair one of these days, y'all. Alrighty, so before we do anything else, I gotta thank my fantabulous patrons. You see their names now scrolling at the bottom of the screen. These are the folks whose ongoing support, both moral and financial, makes the ongoing operation of the channel possible. It's due to them that we're lit. It was due to them that we were mic'd so that you could actually hear anything. It's due to their contributions that we're now streaming to you live from the library 6 times a week. There's Junkshop for you every day except Tuesday, if you are one of the patrons. Otherwise, you got to stick with Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, which is probably enough Junkshop to satisfy most people after all. In alphabetical order, those folks are the Atheist Pastor, Aunt Jur, B, Bill, Brainbug, Mark Caesar, Paul Camish, Gary, Ilya Moon, Kim, the Lavender Lady, Linda, the Lone Wanderer, Mama Atheist, Nikki, Ox, Rain, Robert X, and Santi. Thank you one, thank you all, thank you from the bottom of my heart, and literally could not be doing this, what we're doing, without y'all. Okay, running a little bit late today, and I appreciate y'all sticking with me. I am caffeinated and on my way to being more caffeinated. Had to take care of some errands and some interpersonal relationship maintenance, and y'all know how both of those things can go. All right, let me check in with the chat real quick and see who we have here today. Zoom all the way up to the top. I see a bit of tea in Danish. Linda, good to see you as always. Never Again is walking the dog. Paul Camish, my first patron, is here. I saw you were getting into the bath earlier, so we're all with Paul in the bath. And now the folks come streaming in now that it was late. Hey, Ox, how's it going? Let's see here. Godless Sewing is with us today. How you doing, my friend? This is a warm sweater, actually, Ox. It's a little too warm today, but I was actually outside the house earlier and I needed it. Little Wolf is here all the way from the frozen north. How are you doing today? And Amiga Nuts. Yes, you did make it in time. We ran a little late and I just got done with the announcements portion. So you made it just in time. Ox says, where did I get this coffee cup? Prescription coffee. Spencer's Gifts, of all things. I've been known to frequent a mall or two in my day, much as that might seem to be against character. Hey, Geo Sam, how's it going? All right, let's see. Have I announcements? Tea. Yeah. We got to replace our kettle. I'm just not dexterous enough to boil water in a pan and then dump it. And even I'm not quite enough of a barbarian to microwave a cup of water and make tea out of that. I'm going to start fights up in here today. Announcements. Let's see. Today is Friday. We'll be back with the patron streams, which we had to take off for a couple of weeks due to various and sundry circumstances beyond my control. That'll be 11:30 Central tomorrow and 11 Central Sunday. Then we'll be back on the regular channel schedule this coming up week. Improv Bible study on Monday and Wednesday and Friday. Mental health Thursdays on Thursday. All right. Anybody use Vimeo? 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 It's a video sharing site, kind of a cut rate, low budget YouTube. Really more frequented, as far as I can tell, by companies and independent contractors than by private citizens. I'm just getting started over there. All I've got up so far is 2 trailers for the blasphemous 250 subscriber Jesus-eaten stream. But I'm thinking of playing around over there and seeing what I can do. Same username, of course. It's a branding thing. I'm Junkshop Library across all platforms. And I still won't do Facebook, and you can't make me. So there. I hope y'all are all doing well today. It's been a stressful few days here in the library, and I'm glad to be hanging out with my friends once again. Discord stuff, says Little Wolf. I've tried Discord. I've got a Discord. The link is in the description. I'm not good at keeping track of it. If it wasn't for the bot that Appalachian Folk Witch had set up for me back a year or more ago, there still wouldn't be anything over there. Witch and Tony Designs, who drops stuff over there periodically and tries to keep it at least in some semblance of living. Oh, spell it. Vimeo, yes. Matter of fact, I've still got it open in my other tab. Let me try this in another browser before I tell you all wrong and steer you indirect. Yes. All righty. Ooh, Linda, it's good. Let me talk to you about that at some point after the at some point off air. We've been looking for a video editor program here. We've been thinking about getting back into the video editing, the edited video game. Don't worry, the streams ain't going anywhere. The streams are our bread and butter and how we keep connected with our friends. Excuse me. God, there was something I was going to tell y'all, ask y'all, consult with y'all about. Angie Dell is in the chat. Hey there. Good to see you, as always. How are things going? My. What was it I was going to tell y'all or ask y'all or consult with y'all about? I don't remember. Everybody make sure and watch Paul's video over on Facebook. Somebody dropped the link for that in the chat if you can do that. I don't know how the Facebook links works, but if that's a thing, if somebody can do that, that'd be awesome. I only got to see it until YouTube yanked it the other night, and it was going so well. We were having so much fun. YouTube yanked it for inappropriate content, and we'll never know why. All right, so improv Bible study. We're in Ecclesiastes, the book of the preacher. And I did myself a little preaching day before yesterday about Ecclesiastes, because I've decided that as much as I originally was saying it wasn't as bad as Proverbs, it wasn't as awful as the rest of the Bible, and it actually had some decent poetry in it, come to find out, it's just more of the same hot garbage fire, industrial grade, misogynistic bull hockey as the rest of this fucking stupid ass, outdated, useless book. Here I stand. I can do no other. Let it never be said that Junkshop does not have opinions. Junkshop got opinions aplenty. And where the Bible's concerned, old Junkshop got text to back up said opinions. But we're going to turn today to chapter 8. We're going to try to get through more than 2 chapters today. We'll see how that goes. There's only 12 chapters in Ecclesiastes. We'll get to the Song of Solomon one of these days, and then we'll really have fun. Oh, lordy but gordy. Y'all ready for this shit? I'm afraid to launch into this. Hey, Brainbug, how's it going? Saw your rehoming of Jaws video earlier today. That was fun. All right, chapter 8. Who is as the wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face shall be changed. I counsel thee to keep the king's commandment, and that in regard of the oath of God. Be not hasty to go out of his sight. Stand not in an evil thing, for he doeth whatsoever pleaseth him. Where the word of a king is, there is power. And who may say unto him, What doest thou? Whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment. Because to every purpose there is time and judgment. Therefore the misery of man is great upon him. For he knoweth not that which shall be, for who can tell him when it shall be? There is no man that hath power over the spirit to retain the spirit, neither hath he the power in the day of death, and there is no discharge in that war. Neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it. All this have I seen, and applied my heart unto every work that is done under the sun. There is a time wherein one man ruleth over another to his own hurt. And so I saw the wicked buried, who had come and gone from the place of the holy, and they were forgotten in the city where they had so done. This also is vanity. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, Yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear God, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before God. There is a vanity which is done upon the earth, that there be just men, unto whom it happeneth according to the work of the wicked. Again, there be wicked men, to whom it happeneth according to the work of the righteous. I said that this also is vanity. Then I commanded mirth, because a man hath no better thing under the sun than to eat, and to drink, and to be merry. For that shall abide with him of his labor the days of his life, which God giveth him under the sun. When I applied mine heart to know wisdom, and to see the business that is done upon the earth, for also there is that neither day nor night seeth sleep with his eyes. Then I beheld all the work of God, that a man cannot find out the work that is done under the sun. Because though a man labor to seek it out, yet he shall not find it. Yea, farther, though a wise man think to know it, yet he shall not be able to find it. And there we have chapter 8. Hey, Mark Caesar, Microraptor, how y'all doing today? It's just more of the same, y'all. I've only got 2 modes in regard to the Bible these days. I got bored shitless, and I got pissed off as hell. Apparently today is going to be a bored shitless kind of day. God almighty. There's nothing new under the sun. The wicked's going to get their comeuppance in the end. Hey, Purple, what's going on? And all is vanity, and all is vexation of spirit. Check in, make sure I didn't mix any questions. Hey, Titan Uranus, how's it going? An old friend of the channel. All right, good. Okay. Maybe the way I'm reading it is the problem. Maybe it's just not intended to be read straight through from beginning to end. Because I'm trying to think about other books of poetry. I'm just not quite high enough in the camera frame for my liking. I'm trying to think of other books of poetry and whether they would really work if you were to read them, straight through. And now that I think about it, I don't really guess it would. Would it? I mean, you don't read poetry the same way you read a novel. Hey, Robert X, no smiting at all. Just more vanity under the sun and more about how the wicked gonna get smote one day, but that day is not today. None of us are smitten. No smiting. I mean, is that it? Is that the problem? That I'm trying to read straight through a book of poetry or book of instructional poetry? I mean, you can buy books of like all the maxims from Poor Richard's Almanac, but it's not really going to be particularly interesting or edifying if you just start at page 1 and read all the way through. Mark Caesar asks, how can I expect y'all to hang around if I won't give us this. I'd love to give you some smiting, but there's not any in the book. I'm not fixing to make up smiting. Surely there's good. I mean, we'll get out of the wisdom literature one of these days. Brainbug, at this point, I'd settle for some enthusiastic spanking. There ain't shit going on in this book right now. I don't know. We got to keep going, y'all, or we'll never get to the parts where things happen. It's just, it frustrates me, and not in a good way, that so much repetition is held in such high standard. And I'm not about to do a whole nother riff like I did last time about how this is a bad book and you shouldn't live your life by it, and doing so is a terrible idea, and you brutalizing your children with it as when they're little is a terrible, toxic, reprehensible thing, and you shouldn't ought to do it. But I stand by that monologue. And if you missed Wednesday's episode, you can go back and fast forward through to about the 44-minute mark and watch me really go on a tear. I'm getting the hang of this self-promotion thing, and it's only taken me 2 fucking years. Well, that's probably right. Microraptor says maybe that much repetition was a good thing when most people couldn't read. I mean, that's a fair point. If we think of, certainly of the wisdom literature as oral tradition that just happened to get written down and then passed down that way at some point. Maybe that's why. I mean, it's just so boring. We get it. You believe the wicked will get their comeuppance in the end. We get it. We get it. You think it's a good idea for people to obey the king. We get it. You noticed how much of this wisdom literature we've been slogging our way through the last couple of months has turned out to be about how much you should suck up to the king? Very specific language about obeying the king, even if thou canst not understand the sense of his commands, when you realize that it's in the King James's personally authorized version of 1611. What, me? Cynical? No. And then the last verse, and there's no reasoning out the works of God. God's going to do what God's going to do, and it's not for mortal man to understand it. Convenient. Chapter 9. Chapter 9. We're never going to finish this shit if we don't keep rolling. Chapter 9. For all this I considered in my heart, even to declare all this, that the righteous and the wise and their works are in the hand of God. No man knoweth either love or hatred by all that is before them. All things come alike to all. There is one event to the righteous and to the wicked, to the good and to the clean and to the unclean, to him that sacrificeth and to him that sacrificeth not. As is the good, so is the sinner, and he that sweareth as he that feareth an oath. This is an evil among all things that are done under the sun, that there is one event unto all. Yea, also the heart of the sons of men is full of evil, and madness is in their heart while they live. And after that, they go to the dead. For to him that is joined to all the living there is hope. For a living dog is better than a dead lion. For the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything. Neither have they any more a reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Also their love and their hatred and their envy is now perished. Neither have they any more a portion forever in anything that is done under the sun. Go thy way, Eat thy bread with joy, and drink thy wine with a merry heart, for God now accepteth thy works. Let thy garments always be white, and let thy head lack no ointment. Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of the life of thy vanity which he hath given thee under the sun, all the days of thy vanity. For that is thy portion in this life, and in thy labor which thou takest under the sun. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might, for there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave, whither thou goest. I returned, and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happeneth to them all. For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. This wisdom have I seen also under the sun, and it seemed great unto me. There was a little city, and few men within it, and there came a great king against it, and besieged it, and built great bulwarks against it. Now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city, yet no man remembered that same poor man. Then said I, Wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. The words of wise men are heard in quiet, more than the cry of him that ruleth among fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good. And that's chapter 9. With which I take no great issue. Because chapter 9 breaks down essentially into 2 beats. All y'all gonna die, so live your life. And no one hears Cassandra cry. Any old school Crew Shadows fans out there to get that song stuck in your head now? No one hears Cassandra cry. So, whatever you do, do it with all your might. And when wine cometh to thine hand, drink it with a glad heart. And remember, one of these days we're all meeting up in exactly the same place, in the bellies of worms, and we'll be forgotten. And while it's no great spirit lifter, yet again I say, I don't take any particular issue with it. Mark ye the calendar. Chapter 9 of Ecclesiastes. Junkshop takes no issue with a Bible chapter. People quoting Lovecraft in the chat, and I am here for it. What is dead can never die. Yeah. So keep rocking, rockers. Smoke them while you got them. Shit ain't gonna last forever, y'all. Chapter 10. Chapter 10. Dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savour, so doth a little folly him that is in reputation for wisdom and honour. All right, then. A wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart at his left. Yea, also, when he that is a fool walketh by the way, his wisdom faileth him, and he saith to every one that he is a fool. If the spirit of the ruler rise up against thee, leave not thy place, for yielding pacifieth great offences. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from a ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it. And whoso breaketh an hedge, a serpent shall bite him. Whoso removeth stones shall be hurt therewith, and he that cleaveth wood shall be endangered thereby. If the iron be blunt, and he do not whet the edge, then he must put to more strength, but wisdom is profitable to direct. Surely the serpent will bite without enchantment, and a babbler is no better. The words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow up himself. The beginning of the words of his mouth is foolishness, and the end of his talk is mischievous madness. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? The labor of the foolish wearieth every one of them, because he knoweth not how to go to the city. Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child, and thy princes eat in the morning. Blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season, for strength and not for drunkenness. By much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands the house droppeth through. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. Curse not the king, no, not in thy thought, and curse not the rich in thy bedchamber, for a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which hath wings shall tell the matter. And now we're back to stuff I can take issue with. Let's see. Well, yeah, kings are always the kids of nobles. Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Unless the right noble descended king has been overthrown and a poor-born man appointed in their place. Yeah, I'm sure all of this was passed down word for word from time immemorial, and not even a little bit of it was made up and stuck in here sideways in about 1610 and a half. Yeah. Don't do bad shit or bad shit's going to happen to you. Also, God damn it, how many times I got to tell you, obey the king? I'm kind of curious about verse 16. We're about to go down the comparative translation rabbit hole. Verse 16, woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child, and thy princes eat in the morning. We're going to go backwards in terms of respectability this time. We're going to turn first to the Rugrats Bible, Ecclesiastes 10:16. Let's see. Ecclesiastes 10:16. How terrible it will be for a country if its king is a child. How terrible it will be for that country if its leaders have parties all the time. Hey, it's the amazing Super Chris. How's it going, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Great show this morning. All right, New Revised Standard. Ecclesiastes 6, 9, 10, verse 16. Alas for you, O land, when your king is a servant and your princes feast in the morning. With a footnote after the word servant or a child. NIV. Woe to you, O land, whose king was a servant, and whose princes feast in the morning. With a footnote, or king is a child, and a cross-reference to Isaiah 3, 4 through 5, and 12. NIV, New International Version. Mark Caesar, I like parties too. I think we're both equally terrible, although your jokes are much worse than mine. Okay, so apparently, unsurprisingly, this old-ass jaded man who wrote this fucking book of wisdom prefers an old king to a young one. And hard work and only ritual feasts to parties and merrymaking. Which is weird in its way, because didn't it just in the last chapter say essentially eat up, drink up, have a good time, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die? Is this even pretending to be from the same pen at this point? Is it supposed to be? I don't fucking know, but it doesn't read like it. 9 and 10 read like entirely different philosophies of life. Just smushed up against each other and stuck in the book. How the hell are you supposed to follow both of this kind of wisdom? Be industrious and party not, except on the ritual feast days, which, if you remember, essentially consist of bringing extra shit to the temple and giving it to the priests, because the priests do love their ritual offerings, which they get to eat. Not a big fan of the priestly class myself. Just going to keep on rolling past that. But, I mean, how the hell are these... It's a wonder that guy who wrote The Year of Living Biblically didn't go out of his damn mind. All right, so the world boils down to there's two kinds of people. There's Ecclesiastes 9 motherfuckers, and there's Ecclesiastes 10 motherfuckers. And I am an Ecclesiastes 9 motherfucker. So, cheers. Clink. Ah. Party, party. Hey, Harmonica Man, how's it going? Good to see you. Thanks for the subscribe, by the way. I just got the notification. Because my notifications of everything suck. Okay, so, yeah, all right. So drop it in the chat if anybody's an Ecclesiastes 10 kind of person, so we'll know who to make fun of and gloat in front of when we're doing our non-ritual feasting. I think most of us are 9 kinds of people. Ecclesiastes, 11th chapter. See what kind of life philosophy we get this time. Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. Give a portion to 7, and also to 8, for thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. If the clouds be full of rain, they empty themselves upon the earth. And if a tree fall toward the south, or toward the north, in the place where the tree falleth, there it shall be. He that observeth the wind shall not sow, and he that regardeth the clouds shall not reap. As thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit, nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so thou knowest not the works of God who maketh all. We're going to revisit verse 5. Hold me to that. In the morning sow thy seed, and in the evening withhold not thine hand, for thou knowest not whether shall prosper either this or that, or whether they both shall be alike good. Truly the light is sweet, and a pleasant thing it is for the eyes to behold the sun. But if a man live many years, and rejoice in them all, yet let him remember the days of darkness, for they shall be many. All that cometh is vanity. Rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk in the ways of thine heart, and in the sight of thine eyes. But know thou that for all these things God will bring thee into judgment. Therefore, remove sorrow from thy heart, and put away evil from thy flesh. For childhood and youth are vanity. There we have chapter 11. All my fucking pens have run away again. Okay, so, well, that was short. It's got that to say for it. Those first few verses were some of the most platitudinous platitudes I've ever seen to platitude. I mean, great goodness. There's no way, I suddenly have absolute faith in the translators for the space of those verses at any rate. Because those are proverbs, idia, maxims. Is it maxims or maxim? What's the plural of maxim? Doesn't matter. I mean, if ever I've heard just a straight up proverbial phrase, it's, if a tree falls, that's where it lies. So we do a couple of verses of just weird idiomatic proverbs. And then the entire thing comes to a crashing halt for me with verse 5. As thou knowest not what is the way of the Spirit, nor how the bones do grow in the womb of her that is with child, even so thou knowest not the works of God who maketh all. Giving me Book of Job flashbacks. Okay. Well, that's some Bronze Age bullshit, if ever I heard any. Yeah. All right. It is such a great mystery. The ways of the growing of the baby within the womb of the woman. You can't know the mind of God any more than you can understand how that works. Both equally are grand mysteries of the cosmos. Okay, so what happens when we figure one of them out? Because it's not 600 BC anymore. We've got a pretty good idea of how the bones grow in the womb. So what does that say about our knowledge of the ways of the Spirit and of God? Well, there is the fact that we pretty much, yeah, as Brainbug says, we can put the book down. I mean, we are over halfway through. Some things just date a work of literature so terribly. And nothing dates a piece of writing as badly and as quickly as saying, here is a thing that we do not understand, and that means it is not understandable. You ever be watching a movie and you get just flat yanked right out of the experience by seeing an outdated piece of technology? You know, it's not always as egregious as the cell phone in Wall Street, but it can be. You know, you see somebody struggling to send a fax in a movie, and all of a sudden you're not really in the movie anymore. Yep. I'm officially out of the moment. The Bible doesn't have me in its grip anymore. My suspension of disbelief has been broken. It's as great a mystery as how a baby is made. Come on, you farmers. There's Randolph Richardson in the chat. Hey, how's it going? I'm glad chapter 11 was short, because that could have gone real bad real fast. And then it just goes back to the regular refrain of Ecclesiastes. You know, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die, but remember, someday you will stand in judgment before God. Also, you're going to die and be eaten by worms. So, really, just do the right thing and obey the king. Oh dear, it's a very stable milking stool. We're in trouble now. Hey, how's it going? Okay, well, we've got one more chapter of Ecclesiastes, And we hit time to roll into that just as we roll around towards the top of the hour. And the wheels got away from me. It's an even number. It was meant to be. Meant to be. It is our destiny. Chapter 12. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Also when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fears shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about in the streets. Or ever the silver cord be loosed, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, all is vanity. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed, and sought out, and set in order many proverbs. The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth. The words of the wise are as goads, and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. And further, by these, my son, be admonished. Of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God, and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment, with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. And there we have Ecclesiastes 12, and that's the end of it. Do we know who wrote these texts? Asks Microraptor. And were any of them women? I kind of doubt it. Although Esther was kind of a badass. Great massacre of her enemies and their families there at the end. Okay, well, that wrapped it up in a nice little bow, didn't it? And in case y'all thought I was weirdly phrased and rushing through the first half of that chapter, it was weirdly punctuated, but it was all one sentence. Just clause after clause after clause, and semicolon and comma and semicolon and comma and colon and semicolon and comma, blah da 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 da. And then apparently those were the last words of the preacher, because then the voice of the book changes dramatically, and it starts talking about the preacher in past tense and saying how wise and how old he was and how much truth did he speak and how we must live by his words. Live it up while you're young, do the right thing, because God's going to kick your booty if you don't. And eventually you're going to die and be food for worms, and we all are, so what's the point? There There's the entire Ecclesiastes playlist in about 10 seconds, and you've just wasted 2 entire weeks with me when you could have just fast-forwarded through to that 10-second mark. Sorry, y'all. Okie dokie. So overall, Ecclesiastes is a lot of pretty words that boil down real easy and come grinding to a halt halfway through for some really, truly vicious misogyny. And for anybody who came in late, if you want to know how I feel about the incredible expression of misogyny of the book of Ecclesiastes, go back to Wednesday's episode and fast forward through to the 44-minute mark. It's right there in plain, shrieking sight for all to see. Mark Caesar wants to know what happened to promoting my merch. I forgot I had it. Yep. I've got a Teespring, which Mark Caesar reminded me of just now. The link's somewhere down in the description below, I think. You can get free shipping through the end of November with promo code Junkshop in all caps. I think that promo is still running. I'm terrible at this part. But yes, you can get coffee cups and socks and even a throw pillow. Any way you want to get your swag to show your support for the channel, you can get it, including entirely too many different kinds of tank tops. I got bored one day and it was nice outside. Randolph Richardson asks, is that chainmail sweater I'm wearing made from lots of miniature iron chariots? That's a great line. Nope, just cotton. And God is powerless against it as well. Ah, take that, Yahweh. Oh, Lord. Micah Raptor, that would be an entire episode worth of monologue right there. Trust me, we'll get into the ideas of biblical marriage soon enough. Time kind of flies when you're having fun. Can y'all believe it's been 2 years since we said in the beginning? I mean, not literally 2 years, but it'll be 2 years in January. Well, we'll reconvene on Monday for the Song of Solomon, starting with chapter 1. Thank you, Randolph. I was kind of proud of that myself, coming off the cuff as it did. I know the Song of Solomon by reputation, and I remember a couple of verses of it. But I'll essentially be encountering it fresh, much as I did with Ecclesiastes. So y'all will get to see me putting the improv back in the improv Bible study. Oh, Mark Caesar, thank you. Good to know the camera is working very well today. I've changed a couple. Hey, Nerdy Rodent, I did not see you sneak in, my friend. Welcome. Hope you've enjoyed it today. Mark, we've changed a couple of the settings, and we've upgraded the camera. We've got a new and improved and seemingly much better working and much better focused and much less forgiving in the bright light webcam. I'm glad you had fun, Angie. I certainly had fun as well. Somebody DM me and remember to buy some WD-40 next time I'm at the store. This chair is as loud as I am, and that's going some, sweet Jesus. All right. Well, if y'all are Members of the Patreon team will be gathering again together tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Time. That's noon 30. For something. Normally it would be Public Domain for Patrons, a series where I read various public domain short fiction. I haven't quite decided exactly what we'll do, but we might do that, and we might do something else. Yes, this is improved, Stool. This is dramatically improved. You hadn't been with us very long, but you go back a year or so, you'd be amazed at how much this is an improvement. And also, fuck you. Fuck you very much. If you're not a patron, we'll be gathering back together on Monday at this same time, 3 Eastern, to launch into the Song of Solomon, or the Canticle of Canticles, or the Song of Songs, which is Solomon's, depending on what your preferred translation is. We'll be sticking with the public domain, King James. You want to hear Junkshop? I almost said my real name. You want to hear old Junkshop read some Bronze Age softcore pornography that snuck into the Bible for no readily apparent reason, although it's been rationalized half to death over the ensuing millennia? Come back and see us on Monday. And if you're not subscribed already, consider doing that. We'll be doing the, hopefully, 250 subscriber celebration stream on the 4th Sunday of Advent. That's the 20th of next month of December, when I will be taste testing gluten-free communion wafers. Getting all blasphemous up in this bitch. Same junk time, same junk channel. I get the joke, but my channel is not junk. I work hard on my channel. Don't know where that voice came from, and I promise I'll never do it again. All right. Well, until we gather again, whenever I see y'all around the various internets, as we always say before we roll out of here, yes, Amiga Nuts, Junkshop eats Jesus, which I'm trying to get hashtagged, but I think I've only remembered to use it on TikTok so far. So if you want to spread the word, use that as a hashtag. Yep, still haven't done the nails yet. I'll get around to that one of these days. All right, y'all. We've been going over the hour, and now I'm rambling. So we'll see y'all again soon, whenever that is. And as we always say before we roll out of here, everybody take care, be safe, and stand against hate. Be safe out there, y'all.